Hello everybody, Bonsai Bones here, you know the deal. Today I'm just going to do like a little random segment where I just talk for 10 minutes about any topic that I feel so freely to choose. Don't pick it for me because I'm just going to talk for 10 minutes straight and it's just going to be random as God already knows. And we'll just see where it goes from there. I can't promise the video will be super entertaining. I can't promise it'll be funny. There won't be any edits, any cuts, nothing like that. You might get some video image help shots, but not too many because I'm lazy. And this is my channel, so if you don't like it, please go elsewhere. So yeah, let's begin. Today I think I'm going to focus on like my video gaming and like what I think are good video games and how I even got started in the video games. If you're not interested, just turn the video off now because I'm sticking to that. In any case, how I got started in the video games was the Super Nintendo. Now, see, I remember being about 4 or 5 back in '96, freaking watching my dad play Super Metroid, Kirby Superstar, Tin Star, Kirby's Avalanche, Super Mario Brothers, and I don't know what it was, but it was just the way that it was on the screen and how he was having a good time. It fascinated me, so naturally I got curious. So one day my dad was playing Super Metroid. Now my dad, he's a great Super Metroid player. But I don't understand what's wrong, but like I guess his fingers are too big for the buttons, so he's not really good at jumping. But you know, he can beat all the bosses and do most of the things and all that stuff. But there's one boss he can't beat, and it makes me laugh because it's Kraid. And for those of you who don't know, Kraid is the laughing stock of the Super Metroid game. Why? Well, let's think about it. Out of all the bosses, he is like by far the biggest boss, yet he is the weakest sack of crap in the game. I mean, sure, the first Chorizo fight was easy, but come on, that was like literally the first fight of the whole game. So that was a given to be easy. As for Kraid, he's a little bit farther in the game, but he just sucks. But in any case, yeah, I beat him with just a charge beam at such a young age. And I did it on my second try. I did die once. And on my second try, that was my peaking moment, my peaking memory for the whole Super Nintendo. That right there was freaking awesomeness to me. So Super Metroid was my very first video game. My second video game, well, they kind of came in a pair. Actually, no. In a trio, but I played them all at the same time, beat them around the same time. And that was Tetris Attack, Kirby Superstar, and Super Mario World. Now, first of all, everybody knows Super Mario World and Kirby Superstar are probably the two, if not the best individual games for the Super Nintendo. Kirby and Mario, that's just awesome. That's just epic win. I shouldn't have to explain it. As for Tetris Attack, it was Tetris, but looked at in a different light. Now, sure, it's like, oh, it's just Tetris, oh wow. Well, let me say this. I did play the original Tetris, and I'm not too much of a fan of it, but I do see how people could think it's fun and enjoyable. I just prefer Tetris Attack, and Tetris Attack is pretty much competitive. Oh, I don't know. In a nutshell, it's Puyo Puyo meets Tetris. That's pretty much what it is. It's competitive, it's fun, great two-player game. Me and my dad, we could sit down for hours just going back and forth, beating each other up in that game. So personally, that's just like one of my memories, just, you know, sitting back with my dad playing that game for hours on end. Same with Kirby's Avalanche, which was pretty much Puyo Puyo fused with Kirby, and you know, once again, that's already a win because it's Puyo Puyo and Kirby. I mean, who wouldn't want that? In closing of the Super Nintendo part of this video, I'll say, Super Nintendo, perhaps my second favorite console behind the Sega Dreamcast, but I'll get into that in part 2 of this video. In any case, let's move on to the Sega Genesis. As I'm sure we all know, the Sega Genesis is the main competitor of the Super Nintendo, and vice versa during the whole 16-bit era console war-like thing. Anyway, on the Sega Genesis, my dad didn't touch that, didn't even look at it, showed it no love. He just wasn't a fan of the controller or the games. But, you know, I picked it up on my own free accord, and I was pretty impressed with the Sonic games, both Sonic 1 and 2. I didn't get a chance to get 3. The only time I played 3 was on an emulator, so I can't really say, oh, I got the trilogy! No, I can't do the rah-rah re-dance on that one. I apologize, Sonic fans, but you gotta think about it. At the time, I'm like 8. Where am I gonna have enough money to just get these game after game after game? No, I'm sorry. Christmas was all I got. I'm sorry. That's it. Christmas and my birthday. But from playing, the Sonic games, Sonic 1 and 2, I don't know what it was about that blue hedgehog and that yellow fox. It just stuck with me. I don't know what it. I was just blown away. And then my mom, she used to have to, go to her friend's house to get her hair done because her friend was like a hair doer person. I don't know the exact term. Yeah, salon. There we go. Salon person. Yeah, whatever. So I went over there one time with her, and they had a Sega Genesis there, and they had Sonic and Knuckles. Then, I got introduced to Knuckles, and I thought he was pretty cool. He could climb and all that. And once again, another great Sonic game. Boom. Now, yes, from my Sega Genesis on the actual console, the only 2 games that I had personally were Sonic 1 and Sonic 2. Now, when I went to the salon, we had there was a crap ton of games, but the only ones I can really remember playing are Sonic and Knuckles and Sonic 3 and Sonic 3 and Knuckles. So, therefore, Sonic is just became an icon during that whole time. Mario, Kirby, and Sonic were just like the big 3 in my mind. I mean, sure, Super Metroid's up there, but you gotta admit, back then I've only played 1 Super Metroid game. Then I've played like 9 Kirby games, 8 Mario games, and 4 Sonic games. Well, 5 Sonic games if you're gonna count Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Personally, I love the Sega Genesis, even though I didn't get to grasp the full experience. Because, I mean, sure, emulated games are fun, but you just don't get that feel, that experience of the actual console version that has to offer. So, there's that little difference that I can't really get involved in, unfortunately. And then, that's pretty much all I gotta say about the Genesis. And my next segment is the N64 and the Sega Dreamcast. Now, I'm gonna start off with the N64 because it's short and simple. On the N64, I only got to play a handful of games because I never owned an N64. But, I have enough friends around me currently who have it, and it's all good working, even to this day working, and there's like 6 of them in my neighborhood, so I can really consider myself owning it. But I played a crap ton of games. I mean, I love Mario 64. That was just an instant classic. The original Smash Brothers was spot on. Well, personally, I think that is the best Smash Brothers game, just because, it's the original, it's got the core value, and personally, I just didn't like Brawl that much at all. So, yeah. In any case, yeah, let's go back to the important thing, the N64. See, for one thing, the N64 had a variety of games. Like Star Fox 64, that just had awesome leaking off all sides of that friggin' cartridge. Let me tell you that right now. That was just like awesome sauce just leaking right out of the cartridge. They had Kirby 64. They had Mario and Kirby 64. I really shouldn't have to go on about this, but I'm going to anyway. But those 2 games right there, that should pretty much just tell you N64 is awesome. Get those 2 games. You will love it. That's about it. Seeing how, as I didn't own one, I kind of get grown a little bit envious toward it for the simple reason that, oh, I love it, but I don't have enough money to get one, and, yeah. Once again, I'm like, 10 around this time? I don't know. Friggin' whatever, but I just didn't have the money. Once again, I have my birthday, and I have Christmas. Whoop-de-friggin' do, I still can't get one. But in any case, it was worth it because on the verge of failure, I did succeed in getting what I believe to be the very best video game console of all time. This is personal preference, of course, but the infamous, the notorious, the respected Sega Dreamcast. Stay tuned for part 2, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll tell you why.